edition of Mike on the Mic. I got Gerald here with me on the set today. We're going to be talking about the 2020 Royal Rumble coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so right out the gates, we're going to talk about, in my opinion, the match I'm most interested in, obviously outside of Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
In a strap match. I haven't seen one of those since the Attitude Era.
Yeah, it's definitely old school.
Yep.
It'll be kind of cool. And Daniel Bryan, the last couple of weeks, has been talking about how elusive the Fiend has been, Bray Wyatt. And he said, he's not getting away from me to pay-per-view because we're each going to have a strap attached to our wrist, one end of it. And it's going to be, as good old JR would call it, a slobber knocker.
Yeah, and, this is an interesting match. I don't think it benefits Daniel Bryan, honestly, because Bray Wyatt is much, much bigger. And in much closer range, those shots are going to be a lot harder. Without a doubt, I'm going Bray Wyatt. I think he retains the title. We'll see him at WrestleMania, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Give us a little background on that.
So, over the last couple of weeks, Becky Lynch has had a little feud with Asuka and her tag team partner. And I can't believe I just blanked on her name for a second. Wow. Anyway, so there's been this back and forth in the ring, challenges and threats to do this and that and the other. And Asuka has seemingly taken a page out of Tajiri's playbook, and even before that, the Great Muta with the green mist. She's been spitting in Becky Lynch's face.
Yep.
So this could very well be a good match. Maybe not as high caliber matches like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair by any means, but Asuka is still a really fierce competitor. So, it could go either way.
Yeah, I think this is a match that, wrestling fans at the beginning of this women's revolution, kind of when Becky Lynch was picking up steam, have been looking for. Asuka definitely, when she was on her streak, people predicted she would have the title a lot sooner. So, but this is still a big match. This is a big match if she could pull this off. I think it's up in the air, but I think Asuka actually could take the title. We need a title change at this pay-per-view, so this might be it.
Yeah, I think she's due for another title reign. As you know, she won the Women's Royal Rumble, and then was made to drop her title at WrestleMania last year, which I thought was really stupid. She was on this, stupid good run. She was undefeated at that point.
Yeah.
And she drops the title at WrestleMania. Like, what sense does that make?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense at all. It was like, this would have been a great, kind of like just gift wrap to the story, but, here we are.
And no doubt she'll have Kairi Sane, that's her tag team partner, by the way, in her corner. So, but Becky Lynch has been able to hold off the both of them together the last couple of weeks, so I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah. So, next up, we do have the SmackDown Women's Championship title match. Bayley versus Lacey Evans.
So Bayley, as of late, as most of you know, those of you that watch wrestling every week, or SmackDown specifically, has been on a monster heel turn. And she has been nothing short of awesome as a heel. And she's got a new look, new entrance thing, everything to go with it. Her promos are pretty awesome. She's good on the mic, unlike some of the other talents that we've seen. Lacey Evans, I think, is a formidable opponent. She is a former Marine. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I did, actually.
She is a brutal force in her own right. And she's got a mean right, as she calls the women's right, her finishing move. And she's fierce in the ring. And I think this could easily be one of the best matches of the night. And, I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't mind seeing Lacey Evans get a title run. I think she's due, but Bayley right now has gotten a major push, and so I don't see her dropping the title.
Yeah, I definitely think Bayley retains the title herself, but you never know. Like I said, this is WrestleMania season, so anything can happen.
That's right.
Next up, we're going to talk about a match that you said may or may not happen.
Yeah, I saw this match listed on a couple of sites for the pay-per-view, but not on a couple others. The United States Championship, featuring the current champ, Andrade, taking on newcomer Humberto Carrillo. This feud started during a match between Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. Andrade interfered, and since then, Humberto Carrillo has taken Rey Mysterio's side. As a matter of fact, last night on Raw, during the ladder match, which, by the way, was awesome. One of the best matches on Raw last night. At the end of the match, after Zelina Vega interfered, allowing Andrade to win, Andrade pulled Rey out of the ring and was getting ready to DDT him on the concrete floor. And this person in her Rey Mysterio mask jumped the barricade, and it turned out it was Humberto Carrillo returning.
Yeah.
I believe he was rehabbing a minor injury. And so it set up this match. Again, it may or may not happen. It would be cool if it did. I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be a good matchup, and I think this is a good pay-per-view to really kind of bow tie the whole feud here. I mean, there's definitely a big rivalry here. I think, Andrade as champion has been a really good run so far. But I do think I just have a feeling he's going to hold on to it.
Yeah, I agree. Andrade should retain, and maybe at WrestleMania go on against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
To go back to the feud before it ended.
Yeah.
And then Rey wins the title at WrestleMania. Possibly retires shortly thereafter, or maybe have one last title. And there's also been talk of his son Dominic.
His son Dominic has been training.
He has.
If you follow him on Instagram, he has been training actually. So it looks like maybe we could see him in the ring somewhere down the road. Yeah. And he has one of the best ever in his ear. So, hey.
That's true. We did see him get involved in a match between Rey and Brock Lesnar on Raw a couple of times, and he took those bumps pretty well. Sold him. So hey, one of the up and comers of the next generation.
Definitely. Next up, we do have King Corbin versus Roman Reigns, and it's a Fall Count Anywhere match. But I'm not as in depth of a wrestling viewer as I used to be. That's why, I'm here with Mike, really helping him out. But, I'm tired of the King Corbin Roman Reigns feud. I think it's dumb. I think that it's gone on too long, honestly. I feel like every time I turn WWE on, it's like Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in some way, shape, or form, whether it be a tag match, whether it be a handicap match, this, that, and that. I'm just tired of seeing them fight. And I get it, I think WWE is hesitant to push Roman Reigns simply based on the fact they don't want to upset the crowd. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You're just putting us to sleep having this match every week. Yep. I mean, let's be honest here. What do you want? You want to bore us to sleep? Or, hey, I guess at least for our TVs are tuned to it. Yeah. But it baffles me. Now, this is a match, in my opinion, Roman Reigns should win. I don't see why he wouldn't. But, it's just one of those things where it's just like, yeah. I'm just done seeing this match.
Yeah. This whole feud got stale real fast.
Yeah.
Especially when King Corbin had Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler at his side, like his cronies. If you will. And it was a 3-on-1 every week on SmackDown, doing something different to humiliate Roman Reigns. Yep. And they even went so far as to cover him in dog food. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, who thought that would be funny on TV?
Like, this is literally like...
It was dumb.
Between this, that weird, like, marital, like, just whatever the hell's going on with Bobby Lashley and Lana, like, it's just, like, creative. Just, like, wake the fuck up.
Right.
It's so, like, just stale. It's such a stale storyline. And it's something, we've seen a million and one times. The cheater, the spouse who cheats on. We've seen that storyline a million and one times. You can't tell me there's not one, original thing you could come up with. Come on, please. We could do so much better. But again, I saw this match on, when we were going through, and I was just like, come on, man. Yeah. Again, come on. You could throw those two in the Royal Rumble and have them, just square off. Maybe they could be like coming to like 13 and 12. Or like, shortly after each other, and it's just like, we go at it, and one of them eliminates each other. And I would be happy with that. Yeah, but seeing them in a Falls Count Anywhere match, number one, you can almost predict they're not going to be in the Royal Rumble, which I guess for some wrestling fans, Roman Reigns down the Royal Rumble is a good thing. I don't see why, whatever.
He's a huge fan favorite.
Yeah, I don't get it, but whatever. But it's just a tired match. Next up, though, we do have Sheamus versus Shorty G, in which I expect will probably be a pretty quick match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a squash.
Yeah, I feel bad for Shorty G. Number one, you had to have your name changed to Shorty G.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chad Gable, sorry about that, buddy.
Actually, it started out as Shorty Gable, then he shortened it again to Shorty G.
First off, he should have never gone Shorty to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
what are you smoking? But whatever.
This whole feud is a head scratcher for me because you
It
bring
makes
somebody
no
like Sheamus
legitimate
back.
sense. Yeah,
He comes back. He went back to his original look with the
spiked
you know,
hair
the
and
spiked
everything.
hair,
Yeah.
and he got and the handlebar beard and everything
Yeah.
like that. And I saw a lot of talk online and on social media about what should he do with Sheamus? Where should they have
Have him go to AEW. Like at this point, like WWE is gonna really not use
Now,
him
here's
properly.
the thing: Sheamus has won every major title in WWE except for
Yeah.
one, the Intercontinental belt.
Okay,
So
okay.
the
I can see
logical
that.
thing would be
I can see this match building to that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I
taking
can
out
see
Shorty
that.
G, and then
Who else in the
then
mid-card?
how do you build that to him going after Shinsuke? I mean,
I guess working his way through the mid card. I
There's-
don't know, but that's the only thing I can
But-
think about.
that's to me that would be a great path for Sheamus to go is to go after the one title he's never won.
Yeah.
Because I mean he's dominant when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
There was no stopping. He's big, he's dominant, and he kicks you in the face with that bro kick. You're done.
So we're gonna talk about the women's Royal Rumble match first.
Yep.
And I do like that they've introduced this. Especially as women athletes are really making their own in the sports world. I think it is cool to see this women's Royal Rumble. I'm so impressed by it, and there's so much talent that especially between NXT and SmackDown and Raw. It's just so much talent on the women's side, and I can't even call it yet. Like who would win? Maybe I would go with Sasha Banks. Like I could see that.
This is a match where anything can happen.
Yeah.
Especially, I've only seen 5 or 6 confirmed entrants to this.
Mm-hmm.
And with NXT growing as it has, there's no doubt that you're going to have NXT superstars in both of the Rumble.
They won the Survivor Series match.
Yep, so you have to.
It would
Not
be
only that,
disrespectful not to have.
but you also leave the door open for a couple of surprise entries
That's
or
true.
returns.
Who
For
wouldn't
the
like to
women,
see Trish Stratus back again?
Trish Stratus. I also saw for the Women's Royal Rumble a rumor that Naomi could make her return at the Royal Rumble.
Mm.
And the women's division would feel the glow, as
Oh,
she
boy.
said. But this match, I mean, I can easily see, Rhea Ripley, Shayna
Mhm.
Baszler, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, superstars like that from
Yeah.
NXT. That division and that women's division is just incredible.
It is.
And I would love to see one of the NXT women's competitors win this match too. I really would.
I would. Actually, you know what? If someone from NXT, Rhea Ripley, who I could see doing that, that was
Absolutely.
actually, we were talking about that. I actually was
Yep.
like, you know what? That would shake things up.
Yep.
And it'd be an easy call up, someone like her who is obviously would be great on either SmackDown or
Yep.
Raw. Oh my God, she would kill it. I could see that. And that would be, if they did that, that would blow my mind.
That would be cool. The other thing I thought about was with Shayna Baszler dropping the
Mhm.
NXT women's title a couple of weeks ago on NXT.
Ooh.
If she wins the Rumble match
That would.
and challenges either Becky Lynch or Bailey,
Mm-hmm.
that would make for a great match.
Be a great match. Oh my gosh. It'd be an amazing match. And I think, it's one of those things where it's like, WWE's, their creative team is not watching these YouTube
Nope.
videos. But, it's one of the things where I think, fans should have more of a say. I mean, that'd be a great match.
Usually, the competitors dropping titles is like a sign of
Yeah.
them being called up to the main
Yeah,
roster.
that's,
So,
yeah,
as we know, WWE, anything can happen.
anything. And on to the men's Royal Rumble. And, this is always, even I remember watching the Royal Rumble as a 12-year-old kid. I'll never forget the 2001 Royal Rumble will forever be etched in my brain. I was like, what, 11? Yeah. Because that was, that was just such an amazing. Kane went on that long run, knocking people up. And that set up to be one of the best WrestleManias ever, with Stone Cold versus The Rock. I mean,
And he eliminated the most people that
yeah,
year. 5 minutes.
Kane eliminated the most people. Stone
Yep.
Cold obviously outlasted him. And it went on to, again, one of the best WrestleManias in history. There's not one person that can argue that with me. WrestleMania 17, the best WrestleMania. Fight me on it.
Yeah.
But, it was just one of those just awesome, Royal Rumble's always been one of those really cool matches and an easy way to get the old favorites in, without them having to do long storylines or matches.
Yeah.
And it's always cool to see because you just never know who's going to come back. I would predict Big Show is going to have a pretty big
I would think so.
Big time in there. I definitely believe so. I mean, him coming back, he's definitely one of those just never left, just been there forever, you know.
He made his return on Raw a couple weeks back to help.
He came back and he was looking better than ever.
And KO.
Now, if I had to pick who's going to win, I'm going to go with someone like Drew McIntyre or Aleister Black. I think it's time. Someone like Drew McIntyre definitely
deserves it.
Is well deserving of it. And, I mean, geez, he came back, of course, a few years ago, just more, just very focused, just about his business. And I think it's a match for him to win,
Yeah.
I mean, you have, of course, you never know who's going to be in it. And, I mean, you have other people that I could see a Dolph Ziggler pulling off some mysterious win.
You never know.
You never know.
When I checked earlier this evening, before we met up here, I saw 25 confirmed entrants. At least 5 doors open for NXT. Maybe a surprise return.
Yeah. Finn Balor, he could be.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Been rumors swirling of a certain personality returning. So could we be completely shocked and hear a little cult of personality hit?
If CM Punk came back at the Royal Rumble, I would literally
would blow the roof off of the place.
And that'd be a great time to return him too, because it's like, it's not, he doesn't have to worry about interfering with matches. He just goes in, boom, done.
That's fine. He's like one of the legends that comes back, names a couple people, and then he gets eliminated. But it would just be unbelievable, and it would be a moment for the ages.
If CM Punk came back, I'm telling you, if that happens, I will start watching wrestling every week, or at least SmackDown or Raw, whichever one he's on, because that would be insane. That would be WWE doing the right thing. But we know history shows that WWE does not do the right thing.
Nope.
So I will bank on Drew McIntyre going on to WrestleMania to fight whoever. Again, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good pay-per-view. Royal Rumble is, like I said, always one of my favorites. So I'm interested to see what happens. Yeah. There will definitely be a podcast about it come next week where we recap it. So.
Yeah, I like Drew McIntyre as the pick for that. He's been used way better this time around. The first time around, that 3-man band gimmick. It was kind of funny at first, kind of cool, but it wore thin real quick. But I think he was underused the first time around. Yeah. He's been used so much better this time. He definitely is due for a title shot, and he would make an awesome champion. I think he's in a position now in his career. He's in excellent shape. He could have a nice long title run.
He really could. And that will all be seen. We're going to see what happens. So don't forget to tune in to Royal Rumble this Sunday. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to LitTube. Thank you for tuning in this week. Take care.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the